Now, we're joined in the studio by a senator on their last day here in Parliament House. In fact, calling it quits in April is the Green Senator, Janet Rice. Thanks so much for your time. You've been in the place 10 years,
Yes, and
decided enough's enough.
10 years is a long enough time to put the rest of your life on hold. I've absolutely, it's been such a privilege to be here, and I have mostly enjoyed, I won't quite say every moment, but it's been, a very powerful place to be, particularly to be a voice for people and to be an advocate. But, it'd be nice to just have a bit of time to spend time with my family, which I know sounds like a cliche, but it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
And to move on to doing some other things, including, other things, both I intend to keep on being a campaigner and advocate, but also time in my garden, time doing a bit of travelling, time with my partner, Anne.
Sounds nice. That sounds like a good balance. But 10 years is a solid stint, and you wrap up on April 19, but today's your last day in this place. And I looked at your final speech, and the whole issue of marriage equality was a massive thing for you to get across the line, wasn't it?
Yes, I mean, for most of the time that I've been in the Senate, for 8 of the 10 years, was under a coalition government, and there's not much that, the Lib Nats and the Greens can agree on, but marriage equality was one that we sat down, particularly during the committee process that ended up with Dean Smith's private senator's bill. And we had Dean Smith from the Liberal Party, Louise Pratt from the Labor Party, and myself negotiating a bill clause by clause in committee and ending up with something that we could all live with. And so then after the plebiscite was passed, that was the bill that ended up being introduced into the Parliament and being passed.
That's
so it
obviously
certainly sounds, for
a big
me,
thing for you.
it was a big thing. And, it meant for me at the time that I could stay married. It means now that with my new partner, Anne, that we can get married. So, and, marriage equality has changed lives. It's saved lives. It's just created so much joy and happiness. And certainly, now, more than 5 years on, the sky has not fallen in, and people, it's just so wonderful that people can love the person that they love and get married to them.
Well, it says it in the label, doesn't it? Equality. That's what it's all about.
Yes.
And so for you, as you wrap up and you plan your future, you still want to ensure and work on
Yes, well, for me,
equal rights for everyone.
Equal rights for everyone and justice for everyone. So for the last 2 years, having been working in this place for justice for people on low incomes, on income support, people who are living in poverty. So keeping on working in that area in some way, particularly international human rights as well. So I've been an advocate, most recently with the calling out the President Marcos in the Philippines and my protest in the Parliament, but for Tibet, West Papua, Palestine. And so I absolutely want to keep working in some way with those communities. So I've just accepted an invitation to join the board of the Australian Tibet Council, and I'm really looking forward to be working on Tibet, which Freedom House have said that's the least free country in the world, and then working on climate and forests, so the environment, which I'm just so passionate about.
You've got a better handle on how this place works than most. You've been here for 10 years. For those that look at the Parliament and see the acrimonious nature of some of the parliamentary theatre, how do you characterise the way that the Parliament works more broadly? Because I know there are friendships across political parties that a lot of the theatre isn't matched by what goes on outside of the parliamentary chamber. Yeah,
there are friendships, and there's a lot of really productive work and working together, particularly in the Senate committees, where we're working together to essentially to establish an evidence base about the problems and the issues that are facing us. Then we might have political differences as what are the solutions to these problems that are facing us. But in putting that evidence base together, there is a lot of collaborative work. There is a huge amount of really awful adversarialism and just mudslinging in the chamber, which does not help, and it's what people don't like about politics. For me, I've really wanted to, my 10 years here is to bring that politics of collaboration and trying to work as much as possible with people across party lines.
Well, congratulations, Senator Janet Rice, and on your contribution to the Parliament, but also an early congratulations to you and Anne as well for your impending marriage. So
thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks very much, Kieran.